Thank you. Thank you. Nice to watch. Ah, what's that? Fungus? That's
hedgehog fungus.
Hedgehog fungus, yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. So anyway, on this video I come to somewhere completely different. This is part of the ancient forest of Braden. Is that right, Ralph?
That's Braden, yes.
And I'm joined with Ralph, who's a subscriber. He's invited me out on this camp. So it's an overnight basher and bivvy camp. Quite simple, really. I bought a new stove to try. Well, not a new one, I've had it a long time, but I think you guys would be interested in seeing it. And this is a wonderful old forest, really ancient. I think way back in history, most of Wiltshire was covered by this forest.
Pretty much the whole of North Wiltshire was covered by the Royal Forest of Braden.
Yeah, yeah.
And that reaches all the way from Cirencester down to Devizes, and it would have been just solid.
Yeah, woodland, wouldn't it? Deciduous. Well, now it's a bit of plantation, a bit of deciduous, and it's managed, but it's there's still lots of wilderness and wildness about it. So looking forward to a lovely camp here. So anyway, we're going to be camping in this area here, Ralph, you think?
Camping here, like we said. There's the camp over there to avoid my snoring.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a bit just over there as well, which is another open sort of glade there.
Yeah, yeah.
We've got
somewhere to sit.
Places to sit.
I reckon you can't really ask for more, can you?
Nope.
Yeah. Just see the amount of resin. That's pure resin there. Brilliant fire starter. Oh, that's beautiful. Some of the trees have got marks on them where they're going to be harvested or chopped down. You can see where the resin has come out. The wounds may be made by woodpeckers. But we are in a bit of managed woodland here, so there are some of the trees do have those marks on, and they're going to be felled at some point. But you've got to bear in mind that the trees are a crop, unlike the farmer's crop where they might plant in the spring and sow in the autumn. These are planted in a 1 year and maybe harvested in 50 years time. So that's how woodlands are managed these days. No, I don't know.
Well, no, unless there's another hedgehog.
Yeah, it's a hedgehog, I think. It's a small one.
It's like darker and orangey.
Yeah. the one advantage to the hoop bivvy, it's so simple to set up, but claustrophobic. This is a bit of a stealth camp, so that's the reason why I went with the hoop bivvy on this occasion. These bivvies are made by two different companies. I think one is a Spanish company, is it Corinthia? I'm not absolutely sure. And the other one is, I don't know, Swedish company maybe. Well, this one is the Spanish cheaper version, and it's not the best, to be honest with you. It has failed, it has leaked in the past, but I should be okay with the basher above me. Anyway, I'm going to inflate the mattress now. The Mat 7, which I used on my last camp, and hopefully it'll serve me well tonight. Yeah, this mat is beginning to fail. Last time I used it, I had two burst seams down here. Sorry, we had one burst seam down here. Now we've got two, and I've also got one just here. So I don't think this mat's going to last much longer. Ralph just showed me a knife. He said his brother's a knife maker. He said, and I said, what sort of knives does he make? And he said he makes these from flint. It's a shaped piece of flint. It's lovely. It's actually quite sharp. You can see how in the Stone Age they were able to do certain tasks with a knife like that. Anyway, it's mine to keep. Thanks very much, Ralph.
Pleasure.
We are going to get down to around about freezing +1 +2 tonight, so I'll out my Rab 700 down bag again. The problem I've had with this bivvy is the zip isn't very good, and I've got to be very gentle with it. That's it, I'll keep the bugs out. Well, that's the basher and the Dutch Army bivvy setup. I think it blends in quite well, really. Ralph is in a oh dear. Yeah, SAS bivvy. Oh, they make it difficult for the British troops, don't they?
They certainly do.
Go on then, Ralph, tell us about this.
Right, on this old thing, you see the difference between the materials here.
Yeah,
here.
Yeah, it's different, yeah.
You've got a rubberized bottom, which would in effect not need me to use a tarp of some kind, but you've got the normal sort of Gore-Tex top.
Yeah.
And as you can see, with a little pitter-patter of rain,
it's raining now, isn't it?
It is waterproof.
Yeah.
Been told to be waterproof.
That's more I can say about mine. Actually, I'll tell you what, there's some quite good space in there, really, isn't there? Have you got to have it pulled out like that?
You don't have to have it pulled out like that, and the person that's obviously brought some very tactical, you know.
Yeah, it's a bit bright, isn't it?
It's a bit bright, but that's the person I bought it off of.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain just yet.
No.
The only problem with this, with yours, you can unzip it, sit down, all that sort of stuff. With me,
you've got to climb in.
I've got to climb in there.
Yeah.
And I'm hardly the most nimble of ballerinas, as you could probably tell. So it's going to be eventful once I put my mattress in there.
Yeah.
And the sleeping bag in there. You think about being claustrophobic? I think I've topped you on that one.
Yeah, no, that's all right. No, that's got more space than I've got, actually. It's not bad. I'm just going to have a little walk around and away from the shelter, see what it looks like from a distance, see how well the old British Army basher blends in. So what am I, 10, 12 yards away. Still quite visible, but not too bad. That's more because of the straight lines. That's the reason why you can see it, I think. That's not too bad, is it? But I bought another stove, which I haven't used that often. And I thought this would be interesting for you stoveaholics. This is it's a lovely pressurised stove. It's the Optimus Nova. A kind gift from a good friend of mine, Cameron. So I thought I'd give it a try. The interesting thing about the Nova is that it will burn a multitude of fuels. Well, we'll say a multitude, basically two different varieties, kerosene and petrol, or derivatives of that. Like diesel, it'll burn jet fuel, which I think is basically kerosene, and it'll burn Coleman fuel, it'll burn petrol. Today I'm using it with naphtha or panel wipe, which is like a type of petrol, refined petrol. So that's the pump the stove comes with. So let's just get it into the fuel container. Make sure that's turned off. Give it a few pumps, I think about 20 or 30 to start off with. That's it. You've got to prime this stove, so I've let a bit of fuel through to soak into the wicking material underneath. And then what I'm wanting to do, let's see if that's enough, just get a bit of the fuel on a little taper, in this case a piece of woodland debris. Hopefully that will light. And I can prime the stove. Kettle on for a brew, Ralph.
Superb.
Just fill a gap on it.
This is my first coffee of the day as well.
Is it? Well, you work nights, didn't you?
Yeah.
We're just beginning to start to lose the light, so time to get the old Feurehand Hurricane lamp prepped. I always carry the fuel separate from the lamp because these lamps, they can leak. also brought with me my Stonebridge automatic folding candle lantern. So I think Ralph would be interested to see this.
How old is it, Sandy?
This is a reproduction. They're American design. I think it dates from the early part of the 20th century. Horace Kephart was the American that used to use them a lot. I was reading one of Horace Kephart's books, and he put me onto it. His book rather put me onto it. But I find what I'll do later on when I've got the stove running, I'll heat up the base, I'll melt the candle on, because at the moment it won't stay there.
Yeah.
It takes stubby little candles, so I've got several candle stubs that I'll use for a bit of light during the night.
Is it brass?
Brass, yeah. Yeah. It's quite a pretty thing, isn't it?
It does. It looks like Scott of the Antarctic would be using.
Exactly. In a little while I'm going to be cooking my steak. I've got a Big Daddy steak. And I took it out of the freezer this morning. And this just shows you how cold it is out here. It's still partially frozen, so I hope that'll be okay to cook in about an hour's time. Just have a look at Ralph's stove, which is quite ingenious. It's I didn't know about these before. It's a folding firebox stove, but this one's not a folding one. It runs on a fuel pack. I guess you can put normal wood in there as well, can't you?
Yep.
And a mess burner. It's got a mess burner in there. So yeah, the firebox stove, we'll look forward to seeing that in action
Presently.
in a while.
It's not folding. It's just... as you can see. So forth. The good thing about this is you can have that right as a plate. Goes on there. You can put hard fuel. Those fire dragon stoves there. I could put it on top of there in a little burner. Put my
So we are now losing the light. I've got the stove lit, got my water boiling. I'm having couscous with that nice Big Daddy steak. Ralph just over there has got his stove going. He's starting to get himself ready for preparing his food. Water's just coming to the boil. Well, there's a lot of meat. That's for sure. Couscous and rump steak. How's your food then, Ralph?
lovely.
What did you cook in the end then?
I've got Goan rice
Right.
with a bit of pancetta because I've left the chicken at home, and Ainsley Harriet had some Indonesian style.
I can hear an owl.
Yes. Full of,
So have you got any meat in that as well?
no, pancetta.
Okay. Oh yeah. We can just hear the owls going off. I don't know if this camera's picking it up, but they're in the wood. There's tawny owls. Hopefully we'll hear them a bit better later on. Well, I managed to eat that, and now I'm full up. I thought I'd give you a little side-by-side comparison with the Stonebridge folding candle lantern, which I've got in my hand here, compared to the Feurehand, which you can see next to it. There's not a huge difference in the light output. The good thing about the Stonebridge is that behind the candle there's a reflector, So if you are having to be stealthy, you've only got light coming from 3 sides, so you can angle the back of the lantern to where you don't want to be seen. Whereas with the Hurricane lamp, unless you build a reflector, it's a 360-degree illumination. We've got the owls. We had the owls here. I heard a female tawny owl, and then we had a male making his call, but they seem to have gone again. It's very difficult filming the owls because you just don't know when they're going to call. Well, you know what they say, there's nothing wrong with the weather, it's just the clothing. If you've got the right clothing, you'd be warm. As you can see, it's cold. Probably about +2, +3 at the moment. Not that cold, but when you're sat around not moving much, you don't generate any warmth. So I'm wearing army softy bottoms, and I've got my buffalo top. So I'm actually quite warm now sat here. We've actually lit the folding firebox stove now to generate a living flame to look at, bushcraft TV as they say, and also a bit of warmth because it is getting jolly cold. But we've got our headlamps on, we've got a couple of lanterns running, and I thought as an experiment, just how much of this can you see from a distance? So again, I'm going to walk into the woods a distant way off and look back and see what we can see. You can really see also the resin in the night. This is resin from the larch trees. Probably now about 20 yards back from where our camp is, and look back and see what I can see. So I can see Ralph, his head torch, I can see the lantern, I can see the fire. But to be honest with you, to find us in this massive woodland, you've very nearly got to be on top of us, because although that's not really that stealthy, it's not something you're going to see through the trees if you move back a bit more further of a distance. Well, Ralph, I think I'm going to hit the hay, mate.
Okay, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for a good evening.
Cool.
I enjoyed that good natter by the campfire, wasn't it? Yeah.
By both of them, really. Oh, you got the candlelight.
Yeah, folding firebox is now dying down. We've got an owl. I don't know if you can hear him. You might just hear that, but he's distant, fair distant away. Anyway, folding firebox is dying down now, so I'm going to get myself into my bivvy and hunker down for the night and sleep nice and warm. Hopefully wake up refreshed in the morning. See you in the morning.
Cheers, Sandy.
Cheers, Ralph. There's my mat. I felt it deflating last night. I think it's had it basically. But it wasn't deflating. What it was doing, it was bursting between the ribs, and now I've got this is failing all along here, which is a shame because it's a really comfortable mat.
Well, good morning to Mastershare. Got some clarified butter, just heat a little bit, and that should go off quite nicely. First things to add, do this smoke pancetta when we've got some heat on the rock and roll.
Yeah, it's a bit unbalanced, Ralph.
That's fine, that's fine.
Yeah. What happens, it burns, it gets so hot it burns the butter, so you want to keep it moving. I don't want to teach you how to cook though.
No.
I'm sure you can do a good job of that.
My young assistant here is
not so young and not so glamorous.
We'll get you on Saturday Kitchen somewhere. And here's the eggs, a little bit of milk, which I've made earlier on. Who needs to rough it with processed bag meals? That's superb.
So Ralph, what's your impressions of that little petrol stove now then?
Well, now it's been fully pumped up, Sandy told me, she's working the dream. So
Yeah.
I think, because you say it can run on anything, did you say?
Diesel, paraffin, petrol. Yeah.
That's
And
pretty,
you don't have to change the jet either. It's the same jet.
that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, you can even mix. I think I've not tried it, but you can even mix petrol and paraffin,
God,
and it'll burn that.
and it will burn. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, Sandy, how about a bit of smell-o-vision so far?
Oh, smells lovely, doesn't it?
And that, my friend, is breakfast done.
Simple and good, isn't it?
Like me.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
So, my impressions about my Bivi bag is like sleeping, you know, Frank Herbert's Dune
Yeah.
in a worm. That's,
Oh, right, yeah.
That's what I felt like. But I think that's partly just me having a sleep pad about that thick.
It was quite a thick pad, that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Did you feel anything? Was it cold on your back, or was it warm on your back?
warm. It was warm. It was
Was
worth it. Worth it that wise. The top layer, Gore-Tex, had no condensation at all. And even though I'm
Yeah.
that close from the top,
On your nose, yeah.
and I was lovely and warm last night.
That's good, isn't it? I was warm. I mean, Matt had a bit of a mind of its own. Generally, night passed quite quick, so that's a good sign that I must have been asleep for quite a bit of it.
Like I sort of said, I woke up at 5ish, turned around, looked on my phone. Yeah, it's 5 o'clock. Sandy's not rushing around, so I
Yeah.
shut my eyes, and before you know it, 2 crows overhead.
I didn't hear those.
Having a proper conversation woke me up about
Yeah.
7ish, 7:30ish.
Didn't hear that at all. I must have been out, quite like a light at that point.